Hi guys, and welcome to this new video. My name is Nele and welcome to my channel. I'm kind of nervous showing my face in this video, but I thought I'd say a few words before we start with the actual video, which is my 2023 bullet journal setup. I am so crazy when it comes to planning my new bullet journal and actually setting it up. I like to do that basically as soon as I start a new bullet journal. Well, that's a bit over the top, but I usually do that around September, August, that I start planning out what do I want for the next year and think about notebooks that I want. And yeah, that happened this year as well, and I'm super excited to show my very first yearly setup on this channel. Yeah, I thought it turned out quite cool, and I hope you enjoy this video, that you can get some inspiration, maybe some new ideas from it, and that you enjoy it. Grab a cup of your favorite drink, plan with me, or just chill, and yeah, let's do this. So, welcome again. Good to have you here. I'm so happy that you decided to plan with me or to watch this video. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. For 2023, I decided on this beautiful notebook therapy bullet journal in the size B5. I wanted to see if I like a bigger notebook again. I've used up before quite a few years ago and liked it, and I wanted to do that again this year. And after quite some struggle with deciding on the notebook, I chose this one, which I find very beautiful. And first of all, what I'm doing is cutting out a piece in the back of my journal for the grid spacing guide and my key. And this page I'm gluing into the inside of the cover because I find that more handy than anything else. I tried having a sheet that I can get out of the notebook and place it on my actual pages, but I didn't use that at all in the last year, and I find that I keep flipping back to the page that I set up as much as I needed to, and this is the way that's working best for me, and so this is what I'm doing. I'm just telling that because I thought I might make a ruler or something like that, because I've seen so many people do that. But as I said, I'm not really using that. It's too much effort for me to take out a piece of paper in the beginning of the journal. And yeah, so I just do it like this, and whenever I need a measurement, I can flip to the inside of the notebook cover, which is basically the easiest place to get back to, I guess. And if you don't know what a grid spacing guide is, it is like kind of a ruler for the measurements of your pages. Like in the bullet journal system, you will set up layouts over and over again, and if you want to save a little time not counting the dots over and over again, then you can set up a grid spacing guide and use this for reference. So next, after writing out the title, I'm writing down my key, which after quite some years of bullet journaling, I don't really need to refer back to, but I find it a good idea to have it in the journal to maybe, if I look back on it years after using it, that I can remember which key meant. After that, I glued the page into the inside cover and cut out a piece of paper for the name page, because I don't find that really useful for me. I know that this is my journal. I probably not gonna lose it, never happened to me, and so I'm using this as like the cover page of my bullet journal. And by the way, I'm drinking some nice and sweet chai latte here, so that's a good drink for bullet journaling. On the cover page first, I drew a little border around the page and wrote Hello 2023, obviously, and I chose like a word quote thing for the new year already, because that felt quite strong for me, which is believe in yourself, because that's something that I really need to do more. And for decorations, I decided to do some like abstract shapes, I will call that, in this very nice greenish tone and the dark red that matches my notebook perfectly, I think. Also in some beige tones, because why not? In addition to that, I added some gold accents with some acrylic paint, which turned out not to be the best idea because A, it took forever to dry, and B, when I close the notebook, the paint sticks a bit together, so have to be careful to open it again. I would probably not really recommend doing that in your own journal. Maybe just use a gel pen. I know there are some like gold watercolors that you can use, and they might be a better choice for that. I have to say that in this video, sadly, the light is constantly changing because I've been filming with daylight and that changed more than I thought it would. And so yeah, you see that happening quite a lot in the video. I'm sorry about that. But let's not talk about that. Move on to the future log, which is absolutely a must-have for me in my journal. But I also figured over the years that I don't need that much space as I always thought I needed. So I'm just setting that up on a double page with basically 2 lines and 3 months next to each other on a side. Did that make sense? Probably not. I'm also adding the numbers of the weeks because sometimes I find it useful to have that information. And then under the weekdays, I just drew a simple red line for some decoration. And so much for the date part. I even don't mind writing down the calendars. I think that is part of setting up my new bullet journal, and I enjoy that actually. And to finish off the page at this stage, I add some of that abstract shapes that I'm using through the whole setup. And I struggled a bit to find some variety and make it look cohesive and exciting at the same time. But I still enjoy how it turned out. And then you can see me adding some of the gold details, which in the end I just did at the end because that was just way too much work. And also I managed to somehow mix up some of the footage that I have, because I believe later you see me cutting the tabs, which are already cut in this part of the video, but well, I'm still getting used to filming and doing videos, and it is quite overwhelming to manage all the footage that you have. Like I had probably 20 different videos for this one video. But yeah, we all have to start somewhere. Here we finally cut the tabs, and I actually never used tabs in my bullet journal, and this year is the first year I decided to do it because I think I've seen it quite often at like, I believe, Elizabeth's videos from Plant-Based Bride, and I actually find myself flipping through my yearly pages all the time and not finding the pages that I need immediately. And this year I thought, well, maybe tabs are the solution and useful to that. And this is what we're doing this year. After the future log, I set up a page for to-dos or tasks, and also for some so-called someday maybe things, which I find quite helpful for myself because I'm someone who always comes up with new ideas, random ideas, and who always gets excited pretty easy about stuff. And in these situations, I'm always like, okay, I gotta do this now. and then I do something and it doesn't turn out as interesting as I thought or whatever, and this list is basically just a place for me that I can write these ideas down and think a bit about it instead of just jumping into it and wasting sometimes a lot of time. And the title of the someday maybe list is in a kind of serif font, which I decided after that I didn't really like the look of. And then I decided to change that up in the next spreads. And I just want to say that's totally fine if you start creating your spreads and realize, oh, the design actually isn't what I thought it would be. And you can always change things up. It doesn't have to be perfect or cohesive all the time. You can just do whatever you want. Don't stress yourself about perfection. Next to the left page, I have a when did I last page, which I have a bit of a on-off relationship with. But I find it quite useful having it just in case I want to use it, and I basically used it in the past for my health and household. And this time I just wanted to use it for my household stuff, for tasks that are not like really regular, and so that I can just keep track of when I last changed the bed sheets, because I suck at doing things like that every week. Let's say it like that. So it's basically just a table with each month, and then on the left side there are the days of the month from 1 to 31. And whenever I do something like changing the bed sheets, I would add a little B to the day I do that. And then I have an overview, and whenever I think like, when did I change the bed sheets last time, I can look at that page and know, oh, that's way too long ago. And by the way, is there anyone else who struggles with normal things like that as much as I do? Because I sometimes feel like I'm the only failing human being who can't get their shit together, but maybe I'm not alone. If you are like me, just drop a household related emoji in the comments. So next up is my page for goals, and I have also a little on-off relationship with goals pages. I'm not too serious about achieving every goal that I set, and my goals change all the time, and for me it's quite hard to find the way that I can use my bullet journal for goals. So I try to create something that is just flexible for my ever-changing plans. And so I have like a space that I call Remember, which is used for like affirmations and reminders for myself. Then in these two red boxes I have goals for 2023 and for the long term. And after that is a space to write down my values, which is a helpful thing that I wrote down a few weeks ago, inspired by a video from Reflect with Raksha. And I find that quite helpful to not like be too serious about I have to reach that, but I want to do things that are aligned with what I believe in. And on the next page next to that we have like quarterly goals and plans. I call that quarterly plans, and I will see how I use that spread through the year. I have like a space for each quarter of the year, and in the first I already added the focus and tasks, but that can change throughout the year. On the next spread I'm gonna do all about my finances. I haven't actually tracked my finances before in my bullet journal. I just started to write down overviews about my financial situation, about income and outcome, and I want to have a space where I can check on that, where I can see on the one hand what is my income, what do I have to pay in a month, and also have an overview over my savings. Like my bank account has some spaces where I can save some money, and also have an overview about the costs that are not regularly, like insurances and stuff that come out like half a year or whenever, and that I can mark in which month I will have to pay that amount and how much it actually is. Yeah, that's that little table on the left side bottom. And then I'm turning the page and I'm creating a table which I saw at Erin Smith's YouTube channel and her 2023 BulletJournal SetUp, which is separated in income, in savings, and in spendings. Yeah, that's a word. For each month. I mean, I'm not too good in doing that accurately, is that a word? But I try to do that and see how I'm spending my money, where it's going, and I hope that is helpful. I also made a mistake at the title, like I have a bit of a struggle with the word overview. That's quite a weird word for me as a German. I mean, don't know if it has to do with the language, but yeah. And as we did before with the other spreads, I'm just adding some more decorations, some more abstract shapes. And yeah. Next up is a page for YouTube ideas, which I have a section for video ideas and something else that I forgot at the moment. I guess it were tasks. Like, I don't know what I would have to do, but just in case there's something, I can write it down here. So on the right page I have a section for Neles notes in general, which is not specifically YouTube, which is ideas that I have on the topic and in general, like I would like to create a blog or something. And also I have this little Etsy shop with some digital products. And yeah, if I have something in mind, I could write it down there. I usually tend to write stuff like that, not in a dedicated collection, just drop it anywhere in my journal. After that, we're going to my mental and physical health spread, which I created in November, I believe, in my 2022 journal, because I thought I need some more space to write stuff down about my physical but also my mental health. And with this table I have a space right at the left side where I can say if it's a physical or a mental thing. Then I have the date, the symptom, a description of what I actually have or what it is. Then I have a space for some notes, thoughts, something that could cause it, and what I did. Did I go to the doctor or get some medication? Next up is my me now and me who I want to become spread, which is like a space for a little vision board or also a reflection page on who I've been the last months, years, who I am at this point, and where I want to go basically. And after that, we're going actually to the last spread in this setup, which is my monthly memories page. I'm not the kind of person to print out pictures or anything. I just don't take enough pictures with my phone to really have highlights of the month in photos. Even though I'm a photographer, that's quite weird, I guess. But I like to write down like a word of the month, highlights, just something to wrap up the month, so that when I flip back to this page and look into my journal, even after years, I have like a space where I can see the big picture of each month and don't have to read through really long journal entries. After that, I started to paint the tabs with this beige Tombow marker, and the way I did it was going over the tabs from 1 time to like 5 times or something, so that there's like a color gradient. And I also did that on the other side of the tabs. And after that, I finished with the gold details, which took hours, because every time I did it at one page, I had to wait for like at least half an hour to continue, which was quite annoying. But actually, I think even though it sticks together, it was quite worth it, because the shininess, is that a word, of it is quite nice. And I actually forgot to say it because the footage was so short of it, but I decided to not decorate the pages with the me now and who I want to become, because I don't actually know what I'm going to do on these pages, and I don't want the decorations to distract what I write on there, and I will probably not do it like writing in paragraphs, more like making little bubbles and stuff, and then I have just the space to do that freely and not worry about too little space or anything like that. And after I finished the gold details, I wrote the topic of each spread on the tabs on both sides so that I can easily see where to find what content. And this is it. We're at the final flip through of my 2023 bullet journal. I hope that this was inspiring to you, that you got some new ideas and that you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, if you have set up your new bullet journal already, or if you're waiting like for the holidays or for the end of the year. And I'm very, very happy that you stick till here. That means a lot to me. And yeah, hope you're having a great time and see you in the next video. Bye!